Welcome back to The Travel, where we keep you updated on the latest travel regulations, tips, and airport hacks. Today, we're diving into some surprising items you can't bring in your carry-on in 2025. Rules change all the time, and ain't nobody got time for that. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with something we've all been through. You're packing your toiletry bag, feeling good, and then bam, you question those nail scissors. Nail scissors over 4 inches? Confiscated. They'll treat those things like you're trying to hijack the plane. And don't even get me started on razors. Multi-blade razors? No go in your carry-on. Keep them in your checked bag. And those metal nail files, too. Apparently they can be used as weapons. Packing smart is key. Trust me, you don't want to get held up at security. Been there, done that. Let's talk liquids. We all know the 3-1-1 rule, right? 3 ounces, 1 quart-sized bag, 1 per passenger. It's not just about the size, but the contents, too. Perfumes, hairsprays, lotions all count. Trust me, a travel-sized bottle will do. New 3D CT scanners might change the game. But until then, stick to the 3-1-1 rule. Avoid the drama, pack smart, and keep those liquids in check. All right, let's talk fire hazards. Lighters with fluid? Nope. Matches? Definitely not. Flammable aerosols? Don't even think about it. You want to light a candle in your hotel room or, I don't know, start a bonfire on the beach? Okay, maybe not the bonfire, but the point is these things are considered a safety hazard on planes, and for good reason. Remember that time a phone battery caught fire on a plane? Yeah, not a good look. We don't want a repeat of that, do we? So leave the fire starting to the professionals and pack your candles and aerosols in your checked luggage, or better yet, buy them at your destination. And while we're on the subject of fire, let's talk about e-cigarettes and vapes. Be smart, be safe, and leave the fire starting to the experts. All right, this one's a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people try to bring weapons and imitation weapons on planes. Let me be clear. Don't even think about it. Real guns, fake guns, toy guns, they all fall under the absolutely not category, and it's not just firearms. Knives, scissors with blades longer than 4 inches. Told you TSA's got a thing for blades. Martial arts weapons? Basically anything that could be used to cause harm is a big no-no. Bringing a weapon on a plane is not the answer. So leave the weapons at home and trust that the TSA and airport security are doing their jobs to keep everyone safe. All right, let's talk about lithium batteries. These little guys power everything from our phones to our laptops, but they can also pose a fire hazard if they're not handled properly. Generally speaking, you're allowed to bring small lithium batteries in your carry-on, like those found in phones, laptops, and cameras. But larger batteries, like those found in some power banks and e-cigarettes, might need to be checked. Anything over 100 watt-hours usually needs to be pre-approved by the airline, and anything over 160 watt-hours is generally a no-go in both carry-on and checked luggage. Check the watt-hour rating on your devices and pack accordingly. If you're not sure, err on the side of caution and contact your airline. All right, let's clear the air about e-cigarettes and vapes. While vaping might be considered cool by some, bringing your vape on a plane isn't as straightforward as you might think. First things first. E-cigarettes and vapes are always banned from use on planes. This means no puffing away while you're cruising at 30,000 feet. Now, when it comes to packing your vape, here's the deal. Most airlines allow you to bring e-cigarettes and vapes in your carry-on, but you need to keep them in your personal item, like your backpack or purse. And remember those lithium batteries we talked about earlier? The same rules apply here. Make sure your vape's battery falls within the allowed watt-hour limit, or you might have to part ways with it at security. All right, tech geeks, listen up. Specifically, I'm talking about drones. These flying machines have become increasingly popular in recent years, but they also pose a potential safety risk if they're not used responsibly. Now, the rules around drones vary depending on the airline and your destination, but generally speaking, it's best to check your drone in with your luggage. This is especially true if your drone is on the larger side or if you're traveling internationally. Other high-tech devices like virtual reality headsets and gaming consoles might also raise eyebrows at security. If you're not sure whether or not you can bring a particular device in your carry-on, it's always best to check with your airline beforehand. All right, fitness fanatics and makeup mavens, this one's for you. We all have our powders: protein powder, makeup powder, baby powder. But did you know that these seemingly innocent substances can actually cause a stir at airport security? The TSA has a limit on how much powder you can bring in your carry-on luggage. Any container holding more than 12 ounces, or 350 milliliters of powder, might require additional screening. The TSA is just trying to keep everyone safe, and unfortunately, sometimes that means sacrificing our beloved powders. All right, foodies, listen up. We all love to bring back culinary souvenirs from our travels, but before you stuff your suitcase with exotic fruits and cheeses, there's something you need to know. Many countries have strict regulations about what food items you can and cannot bring across their borders. These regulations are in place to protect local agriculture and prevent the spread of diseases, and they can be surprisingly strict. The best way to avoid any food-related fiascos is to do your research before you travel. And when in doubt, declare it. It's better to be safe than sorry. All right, let's talk about something that's important for many travelers: prescription medications. When you're traveling with medication, it's essential to follow the rules to ensure a smooth and hassle-free journey. First and foremost, always keep your medications in their original prescription bottles. If you're carrying liquid medications like cough syrup or eye drops, remember the 3-1-1 rule. Containers must be 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters or smaller and fit inside a single quart-sized bag. It's a good idea to pack a copy of your prescription or a letter from your doctor explaining your need for the medication, especially if you're carrying a larger quantity than usual. And lastly, if you're traveling internationally, it's crucial to research the specific regulations regarding medications in your destination country. All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite travel companions: laptops, tablets, and cameras. These electronic devices have become essential for work and leisure, but they also require special attention when you're going through airport security. First things first, when you're packing your carry-on bag, make sure your electronics are easily accessible. Why? Because you'll need to remove them from your bag and place them in a separate bin for X-ray screening. This helps TSA agents get a clear view of your devices and ensures that nothing is hidden inside. To speed up the screening process, pack your electronics in a designated electronics organizer or a slim laptop sleeve. And lastly, don't forget to power up your devices before you head to the airport. All right, traveling with a baby can be challenging enough, but navigating airport security with formula, breast milk, and other baby essentials adds a whole other layer of complexity. But don't worry, I've got you covered. First things first, when it comes to formula, breast milk, and baby food, the TSA makes an exception to the 3-1-1 rule. You are allowed to bring larger quantities of these essential items in your carry-on luggage, but you'll need to declare them to a TSA officer at the security checkpoint. Be prepared for additional screening. TSA agents might need to inspect your baby items more closely, which could involve opening containers or using special testing equipment. It's a good idea to keep these items separate from your other belongings to make the screening process smoother. All right, we all rely on our smartphones these days, and the last thing you want is for your battery to die mid-flight. That's where small power banks and chargers come in handy. But there are a few things you need to know before you pack them in your carry-on. Small power banks and chargers with a capacity of 100 watt-hours or less are generally allowed in both carry-on and checked luggage. However, larger power banks might need to be checked, depending on the airline's regulations. Small power banks and chargers must be carried in the cabin of the aircraft, not in your checked luggage. So, pack your power bank in your carry-on bag, make sure it's easily accessible, and keep your phone charged throughout your journey. Now that you know what not to bring, you'll have a smoother travel experience. No more frantic bag repacking at security or tearful goodbyes to your favorite shampoo. Seriously, nobody wants to be that person holding up the security line. Pack smart, play play by the rules, and you'll be breezing through airport security like a pro. Safe travels.